In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to adjust the backlight on your Garmin Instinct Solar watch. This is the first generation. Now, I mentioned that because on the first generation, all of the settings have to be done on the watch. If you have the second generation or later, you can also do the settings in the Garmin Connect app. It's really very simple. We're going to start by pressing and holding the middle button on the left-hand side. That's our menu button. After a couple seconds, it will take you into the menu. We could press the up or down button. In this case, it makes more sense to press up because we need to go to settings, which is at the bottom of the list. So it takes us right there. Press GPS on settings. And then again, we're going to use the up or down button. We need to go to system, press GPS for system. And then again, we're going to use the up or down button. We're going to go down to backlight and press GPS for backlight. You've got two different categories under your backlight: during an activity and not during an activity. During an activity would mean I go out and I do a walk activity or a cycling activity or a hunt activity, whatever. While I'm in that activity, how does my backlight function? Not during an activity would be any time that you're not doing an activity. Like right now, I'm sitting here at my desk. That would be not during an activity. Press GPS to go into each one. The settings will be the exact same. You just have these two higher level categories. Keys. Keys means, again, during an activity, if I press any of the buttons on the watch, what happens? Does my backlight turn on or not? You can go into each one of these. I can say, I don't want the backlight to turn on when I press the keys. I want it to turn on all the time. If I'm in an activity, any time of the day, when I press the key, the backlight should turn on. Or after sunset would be for that given day. If it's after sunset for my given location, the backlight turns on when I press the keys. Set it to whatever value you want by pressing GPS while you're on the value, and then we're going to go down the list and look at all the settings. Alerts would be if I get a cell phone alert or a activity alert, anything like that, goal alert, storm alert, during an activity, does my backlight turn on or not? You're going to have the same options. You can have it off, on, or only after sunset. Gesture, this would be when you tilt your wrist towards you, does the backlight turn on or not automatically? You can have this off, on, or again, only after sunset. The timeout would be when my backlight turns on, anytime it turns on, how long does it stay on? You've got the lowest option being 4 seconds. The highest option is no timeout. I would warn you with this, when your backlight turns on, the more it turns on, the brighter it is, and the longer it's on, the more battery life it's going to use. So I don't recommend using no timeout, but that's up to you. Let's set mine to 4 seconds. And then again, we've got our brightness that we can choose. How bright do we want the backlight to be? 5% is the lowest, 100% is the brightest. Each time I land on it, it shows me what that brightness level is. It's a little bit hard for y'all to see that because of my overhead lights. So those are your settings. We're going to need to press the back button, and we're going to go adjust it the same way, but for not during an activity. Press GPS, it's going to be the exact same things. You don't have to set it the same way as you did during an activity. So you can have totally different backlight settings for while you're in an activity versus you're not. Keys are going to be the same, on, off, or after sunset. Alerts would be the same, on, off, or after sunset. Gesture would be the same, on, off, or after sunset. Your timeout and your brightness. So for example, not during an activity, let's set my brightness at 100%. Once you've got it all set the way you want, you can simply press the back button a few times, get you back to your main watch face. Now you might be sitting there saying, what if I don't want any of that stuff? I just want to manually turn on the light, manually turn off the light. You could totally do that. The key with that though is if you really wanted to manually do it, you would set the duration for no timeout, because then it would be, I've turned on the light, it's going to stay on until I turn off the light. If you have the duration, it's going to follow your duration. I'm going to show you how to do that manually here. Let me cut off my overhead lights. Now we are not in an activity, and because I set mine at 100%, you're going to get to see the light at 100%. The top left button on the watch, as delivered from Garmin, is going to be your backlight. And there's my backlight at 100%. It's following whatever duration I had set, which I think was 4 seconds. But I can always manually turn it off by pressing it while the light is on. Anyway, pretty simple stuff. That's your backlight settings on the Garmin Instinct Solar. I hope the video helped.